Well, welcome in everybody to another Granbury interview here on Granbury TV. I'm your host, David Wood, and I am joined today by Precinct 3 Commissioner, Mr. Leonard Heathington. Mr. Heathington, appreciate you coming in today and giving us some insight and some information about things going on in the county. And before we get started, let's tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and about who Leonard Heathington is and what you've been doing here in the county.
Glad to be here this morning. I am Leonard Heathington, Precinct 3 County Commissioner for the last 7.5 years. I was born and raised in Hood County, got 2 boys, 4 grandchildren. Hood County's been good to me, and whenever I run LO dirt work for 42 years, and when the gas company come in and everything, hard to keep hand truck drivers and everything, it was just wasn't feasible to keep on fighting it. So I decided I would run to the county commissioner and see if I couldn't give some of my knowledge back, help the county with what I learned over the years. And I live out in the Acton area, moved out there in 1980. I was raised on a farm up here close to Toller by the Lion Camp Steakhouse. And my work ethic come off the farm. When you own a farm back in the 50s, it was from daylight to dark. It wasn't 8 hours a day. It was every day, all you could get done. So I appreciate the people putting me in the office, and I am up for re-election this time. But anyway, the things that we have accomplished on the Commissioner's Court since I've been on there, we've got the first right out of the bat, well, the ranches that they caught over was putting in out here at Acton area, and they were going to try to do it with septic systems. And I talked to Mr. Phil Hope and told him it would be a lot better off for him and the county and the watershed and everything else to put septic to hook onto the A-Mud sewer system. And so they worked out a deal and got the A-Mud sewer system in, and in turn that helps us get Port Ridgely East in.
Sure did.
So, we're working on some grants and stuff. We've got 2 phases of Port Ridgely East. There's 2 more phases that'll be coming up. One of them will be coming up this year. Well, the second phase is finished, and got about 30 or 40 people that had bad septic systems hooked onto the sewer. That helps the lake, stops the sewer from running in the lake. And another thing that we did at the county, we put in the time system, time clocks. That when I started, well, they had time sheets, and everybody filled out a time sheet, and then the director or the head of the department would just sign it off. We put in a time system for accountability. That way, when you put your hand in there, they know you're there, and when you punch your hand out, they know you're gone. And it's not, well, I think I was here today and I'm not sure, But anyway, we got that done. And we were instrumental in the new transfer station out west of town.
That's right.
We didn't have any place to dump anything, so we would have them big dump days, and it was just enormous amount of stuff that people would bring. And we just got to thinking about it and looking at it. Should be a place that somebody can take something to get rid of every day if they need to. Well, we don't have it every day. It's on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Saturdays. Wednesdays is in the afternoon, Mondays and Fridays and Saturdays is in the mornings. And you can go out there and dump just about anything you want to get rid of, your mattresses, your old furniture, metal, oil, your tires, glass, plastic. We got a recycling for the glass and the plastic and different things, cardboard, and it's worked out real well for us. And the sheriff department we've given the sheriff department some new deputies. He went from about 99 employees, and when I come on, to 128 today. And most of them are deputies, on the street deputies, but we've given them 10 new cars every year since I've been on the court. And we put in a new dispatch system for them and the EMS and the fire department. So, we've really worked on what we've been doing. Other than, you're up there in the office and you sit there for 2 or 3 hours and you don't do anything, and then all at once, everybody that wants to come in and wants to talk to you. So, but I get out in the area, in my precinct, run my roads once a week, take care of, at least once a week I run all my roads, see if I've got any potholes, see if anybody's dumped anything I need to pick up. Since we put the new transfer station in, we haven't had nigh as much dumping on the road as we used to have.
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of that goes to awareness. And I know that you personally have taken it upon yourself to get the community awareness up about some of the things that we have to offer our residents. And,
Yes, I do.
that goes a long ways.
Yes, it does. I go to the radio station and talk, and then I come. I haven't been on the TV in a while, but I'm going to start doing it. When I have something to talk about more, I'm going to come on the radio station and more. You know, we started having trouble getting close to 50,000 people. Then we were going to have to split our JPs up.
Yep.
So we did one of them 2 years ago, and we're going to do one of them this year because it's a really costly deal to add a new JP and a new constable, have them an office spot and all the furniture and everything that goes with it. So we couldn't have done it all at once. So we had the foresight to go ahead and split 3 and 4 first. This year we're splitting 1 and 2, and that's gonna we can handle that. I come on the court in '04. Our bond rating was B minus.
Yep.
We didn't have any money in reserve. Today we've got over $8 million in reserve that we have, and the taxes are still the same as they were then, 34 cents on 100. And we've tightened government up. We haven't put on a lot of new hands in the last couple of years. We took the raises and from the elected officials and appointed officials this last year. None of us get a raise, and the way it's looking this year, we may not get another one. But we're already starting to work on the budget for the coming year, and the sales tax was way down, but look like they're coming back up now a little bit. It's going to help us some, and we're going to try to keep this property tax like it is. We've got lots of property that's on foreclosure this year that we won't get any tax money at all for. So I believe our base tax is going to be down again this year. I've talked to Greg about it, and he can't tell us anything till about the end of July, the 1st of August, what we're going to have.
One thing I don't want to skip over is what you just said, and you said that in '04, when you came into office, that the county deficit was at a pretty bad state, but today we have a good deficit of a couple of $1 million. Is that right?
We've got $8 million. We've got $8 million in reserve.
$8 million in reserve, and then also we have not raised taxes.
And we haven't raised taxes
since '04, and you know that's a big thing to be able to do, and that's called structuring and managing your office well and working as a unit very efficiently.
Well, look, we've been very conservative. I'm conservative. I run my business for 42 years, and I never bought a new dump truck. One time I bought a new dump truck in about 1976, 78, and I found out that I worked on them nearly as much as I worked on the old ones. And so run them old trucks and get somebody to work on them, and don't be so chinchy that you can't get anything done, but do a good job with what you have got.
Absolutely.
And that's what I've always tried to do.
Absolutely. Get the most mileage
Get
out
the
of what
most
you have.
mileage out of what you got.
Precinct 3, let's talk a little bit about that. You're for those of you who do not know, that includes the Acton, the DeCordova Bend Estates area, and then a big portion of the southern and southeastern portion of Granbury. Is that right?
Water's Edge, Harbor Lakes, Southtown, the Shores, Western Hills Harbor, that's all in Precinct 3. I'm everything the north of the lake and everything south of 377 except for the Shores, and that one little area right through there is the only place I cross 377.
There you go. And, you know, that's important to get out to let people know, so that way if they have concerns or if they have an issue, they can bring it to you, and I know that you jump right on it.
I give everybody my cell phone number that wants it, and if they call me anytime at night or day, it doesn't make any difference. I'm a county commissioner all the time, and I help on the whole county.
Absolutely. I'll give that number out right now. It's 817-579-3300. You can get a hold of Mr. Heathington. We'll put that number up. We'll also mention it later on in the interview.
That is the office number.
That's the office number.
My cell number, we'll put it on there too. It's
Okay.
817-279-2459. And I don't mind calling me at any time if they got a problem.
There you go. He'll meet you at 2 in the morning if he has to.
I'll take care of the problem if you'll just get it to me.
There you go.
All right, what I can take care of.
There you go.
That's the part of this job that I don't like. Is about 95% of the job is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 5% that I can't do anything about that worries me to death.
There you go.
Tall grass growing up on neighbor's property, you've got to try to run a bluff, you can't just go in there and say, well, you gotta mow that, you've got, the health department will get involved if it gets over 3 foot tall, but 3 foot tall grass most of the time is not there. It's 2 foot tall or a foot and a half tall, laying up against somebody else's fence, and you can't get it mowed. We can't go on private property and do that. Somebody park a bunch of old cars around the house, ain't nothing I can do about it. That's private. Texas has the property rights. If you own a piece of property, you can do with it what you want to, as long as it don't directly affect somebody else. And that directly affecting somebody else is really,
it's a gray area.
Gray area.
Of course, Granbury's doing pretty good. A lot of our area is incorporated in subdivisions, and a lot of them have deed restrictions and that sort of thing. So those are some things that you can work with. But when you're on that private property area, that's a real hard issue.
It's a hard issue to do anything with. I'm on the RTC board, which is over in Arlington at the COG. I'm on the alternate of that for Judge Harmon in Cleveland. He's the one, but I'm his alternate, so I go 2 or 3 times a year to that. But I try to make every meeting where I can keep up what's going on. We bought new equipment for the road ops. We've got new loaders, new dump trucks, or I would say newer dump trucks. Some of the dump trucks we bought are not brand new; they're used, but we chop around and get some good trucks instead of buying the new ones. I got high morals, high ethics. I don't lie. I don't tell people lie. If I tell you something, that's the way I believe it to be at the time I tell it to you. Now, sometimes I'm informed on something and come to find out, well, it wasn't exactly that way, but I don't really think I was lied to. I just think they just was misinformed. But if I tell you something, that's the way I believe it to be. And I'm a problem solver, get along good with people, proven leader, save the tax dollars, and you still get the job done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I know about you.
That's right.
That's most definitely. Hey, let's talk a little bit about some county business going on. Everybody, and I mean everybody, has been concerned about this red roof and about the courthouse.
Well,
and I know you've got some information.
I've got some information about it. We haven't got our check yet from them, but the judge and Steve and the auditor all had a conference call yesterday with the THC, and they're going to give us our money. They're going to hold back the $171,000 that was up there to paint the red roof, which if you'd have painted the red roof, it would have cost you $225,000 to $250,000, because they're all on this whole job. Nothing's been what it was bid. It was always different. And we talked to these people that were going to furnish the paint about this red roof, and the paint guaranteed for 15 years. But what happens, we told them, well, if you will come down, we offered them a deal to paint this roof. We didn't want to paint it, but they said, if you will clean it, you will prepare it, then we paint it, and it's your baby for 15 years. Oh, no, they didn't want to do that. All they do is furnish the paint. They don't do the cleaning. So that gives you a place. You got to get somebody else to come in and prepare this roof. And then when something happens to the roof and part of the paint comes off, then you get a hold of the paint people. They said, well, it wasn't prepared right. I've been in them deals. I know how they've got this thing set up. They give you a 15-year warranty, but anytime you try to collect it, it don't work. This roof on this courthouse right now is guaranteed for 20 years. Well, it's about 13 years old right now. It's not going to be any different in 15 years from now.
That's right.
Unless we have a storm or something to tear it off. But it's going to still stay the same. You paint that roof red, in 5 years, it'll be some places peeling off because the heat and the cold and it works back and forth, and it doesn't. You'll see big pieces up there that's not red. It'll be gray with a stripe. We'll have a striped roof when it's expanded, and it moves. The roof moves. Wind moves it. Cold and hot moves it. But anyway, we got a deal yesterday with them about it, and they're going to give us our money. Probably within the next month or so, we'll get our check. It's going to cost us $171,000 that we didn't paint the roof, and we're going to cost us about $60,000 where we didn't put that acoustic plaster on the back wall that they said, well, we think that will help. They won't guarantee you it'll fix the problem. They think it will help. Well, we went through this back and forth, and it was gonna cost $60,000 plus profit and overhead, which the contractor that we had working down there, they charged us profit and overhead every time.
Right.
Every time they did any changes was made on the contract, well, it was profit and overhead. And so the THC owes us about $600,000. They're gonna keep 171 of it for not painting the roof, and they're gonna keep 60,000 of it for not painting not putting the acoustics on. And then we're gonna have a grand opening and dedication back and all of that stuff. And the courthouse inside really looks nice. The acoustics, I'll have to say, the acoustics in the courtroom, but when you go from a 12, 14-foot ceiling to a 31-foot ceiling and all the vibration, and we had to take all the carpet and stuff off the floors because that wasn't historical. And the benches don't have the cushions on them because that wasn't historical. If they'd have let us put the carpet back on the floors and the benches back with the pad on them, that would have solved some of the problem with this noise. But that's not historical. That wasn't the way it was. And the air conditioning wasn't the way it was either. But that was one of the deals that you had to do, and that was an expensive air conditioning system. Those wells and all of that cooling stuff that you have to put in them chillers and all that. But anyway, it's a working courthouse now, and we have our court in there, and Judge Tuggle has his court in there, and we have the judges back down, and so. But anyway, we finally worked out a deal with them, and it's going. Within the next month or so, it'll be over.
It is beautiful.
It is a beautiful courthouse.
You and I are longtime Hood County residents, and I can't remember. Well, it's been less than 40 years for me. I'm a young fellow.
Oh yeah, 71 for me.
Yeah, young fellow. But I can never remember the courthouse ever being red, and I've never met anybody.
I had a meeting yesterday with Versey McEntee, and Channel 8 was down, and we showed them some of the shingles that come off. I don't know if they're going to do a program on it or not, but she can't never remember it being red, and she's 89.
Well, I dealt, even when I was younger, I was in the Junior Historians Society, and I interviewed many longtime Granbury residents, and at the time we had a couple of people, this was in the 70s, that had lived here their whole life, and they were in their hundreds.
Yeah.
And when I interviewed them, they would talk about the courthouse, but never, ever did they ever say that it had a red roof.
No, it had a brown. It had a brown roof on it. One of the second one or the third one was put on. It had some shingles put on there brown, but it's never had a red roof. I can't find any pictures. They've been, your black and white pictures back in them times. Well, they say, well, what they based all of their deal on, the historians looked at them pictures and said, well, that color black was red. And that's what they used. But what that color black was tar.
Yeah.
When that roof was first put on that courthouse, it leaked. And they got up there and put tar on them metal shingles, on them galvanized shingles. They put tar on them to stop them from leaking.
Absolutely.
And that's what they were looking at. But anyway, we do have it settled, and we're going to do good with that. The thing that I am really excited about, that we're still in non-attainment area.
Yes.
We fought this. They started about 6 months ago, going to put us in the non-attainment, and going to cost us $50 or $60 to get a car inspected. Every one of the car inspection places was going to have to spend $25,000 or $30,000 to get the equipment to do this with.
That's a lot of money for a small business.
Oh yeah, they couldn't have done it. We wouldn't have had but probably one place that would have done it.
Put a lot of people out of business.
Put a lot of people out of business that couldn't do it. And every time we talked to anybody about coming here for economic development, they wouldn't come because it's going to be in non-attainment. And the judge and Joey went to Washington and met with the EPA people in Washington. We've met with the ones in Dallas. And we went and talked and wrote letters and had letter writing campaigns, and we've done well. We've got it done that it's going to be non-attainment for another 6 years.
And that is large.
That is a big deal.
Very big deal. And I'll tell you, y'all have spent a lot of y'all's man hours. I know that you and Steve Berry and Judge Cochran, especially the three of y'all, have spent a big amount of time with the EPA trying to get this non-attainment.
Trying to get this non-attainment area.
And big success on y'all's part on that.
Yeah, I feel like we really hit a home run on getting this stopped. Now,
Absolutely.
Wise County, I don't believe they fought it as hard as we did, and they're going to be in it.
They're going to be in it.
Yep.
Yep.
But anyway, we got the news yesterday that we will not be in non-attainment. We're going to be attainment, just stages like we are, where our cars cost about $12, $14 to get them inspected instead of $65, $70. And all of the paint people that do painting, they won't have to change all their paint booths and all that stuff. And if somebody wants to come into the county now and do something, they won't have to fight with that non-attainment area.
Now, with the forethought of the fact that we've broached this time, would it be a good thing for businesses to start basically gearing up to maybe in the next 7 years, something might happen to where we are included?
What we're going to have to do, we're going to have to work hard to keep our air clean.
That's right, absolutely right.
You know, we're going to have to make sure that whenever we're running these equipment and all that stuff, that it's not doing the air. And the gas companies have slowed down a lot to what they were when we were having a little problem with this. We wasn't never above it, but we were bumping, right? And if they would have lowered their level just a little bit, we would have been in the area that we would have had to have it.
And a good thing to that is that the drilling permits have gone considerably down in the
Right.
last couple of years.
Right.
We're not doing as much drilling as what we were doing.
And when the old diesel trucks run back and forth, we're going to have to start working on getting cleaner burning trucks, doing, you know, and the manufacturers are building these trucks now that taking all the old trucks like I used to run off the road, getting them gone, getting some kind that don't put out the wrong kind of emissions and getting that. That's the big story of the day for me is
Yes.
staying in non-attainment.
Absolutely. And you know, something that's going to help that is the fact, and this kind of broaches into something else that we wanted to talk about, is that there's not going to be a lot of those big trucks. We've got a plan for Crescent.
We've got a
in
plan for
place,
Crescent.
And the relief route is coming, and that's going to help with your air, your clean air, because you're not going to have those big trucks sitting there on that railroad track at that big red light.
And the county just passed a resolution a couple of courts ago that all of our trucks, when they're setting, will be cut off.
There you go.
They're not, our police cars, our trucks, everything in our fleet is going to be, when they pull up to a place and going to be there for 5 minutes, they cut them off.
Cut them off.
And that's just the way it is.
There you go.
Now this Crescent relief route, I've got a map here. I don't know if it's big enough anybody can see it or not.
We'll take a snapshot of
But
it.
this is what it's going to be. This was approved at a public meeting in December. This was the route that was approved. Now, some of these jug handles that's on here, which y'all may not know what a jug handle is, but that's the way you get on and you get off. Some of this is preliminary. But we're going to have a public hearing, not a public meeting, but a public hearing in August. And that's when this will be finalized. EPA is supposed to be through with all of their environmental tests, and we can start getting stuff going.
You know, this relief route has been in progress. I know y'all had been working on it. Personally,
I've been working on it
last 3-4
ever
years.
since I got in court. 7 years ago, I started
7
working.
years.
7 years I started working on this, and we're there. The Johnson County side is going to be furnished by COG out of the RTC board that I'm on is going to furnish the money to do the Johnson County end, because we can't take money out of Hood County and move it to Johnson County. But we've got some Prop 12 money that's going to do the Johnson County end. The rest of it is going to be done by Hood County. We've got the pass-through financing and going to have to sell some bonds and stuff like that, and then they will pay us back so much a car when it starts running.
And you know, a lot of people, and I know that you have really worked diligent at this, and I know that one of the big concerns in the Crescent area was that it would hurt their business, but this is really not going to hurt their business. This is going to help relieve that traffic that is through there, but so far as the commerce going into Crescent, it's really not going to hurt them.
I went over there, I took it on myself, and about 3 months ago, I went over there and I sat down there in one of those parking lots across from the stores there in Crescent. In an hour and a half, there was 7 cars pulled off that traffic going into them stores. they were wanting to get through to go to Fort Worth. They wasn't wanting to get to that store there. They hour and a half, 7 cars pulled in. Now, the people that live in Crescent, there was a lot of them there already, and the store was busy. But as far as the traffic that was going by, that's just
It's just pass through traffic. And there are some times where I've wanted to stop in Crescent, and I've just changed my mind because I was like, I don't want to have to get out and then get back
How you
on
gonna get back?
and fight this traffic.
How are you going to get back in the traffic?
So this is going to, I think, increase their business and increase their worth as a city.
And they've got election going right now to try to put a quarter of the cent sales tax into road repair and stuff over there, and so that it'll be good. They're working. Bob Cornett, he's working on this, and him and his city council, they're doing a lot to it, a lot to help it with. And I'm really glad that we're getting close to this. I hope I get to stay in office long enough to get it finished, but I've got it started. So anyway, that's where we're at on that one.
You've done your job, that is for sure. And I commend you and everybody else that has worked extremely hard. I know Steve Berry's had a hand in this too.
The whole commissioner court had done this. You know, I can't say that I've done anything by myself because it takes 3 votes to do anything.
Absolutely.
So you work, but we've got a really, really outstanding court. Mike Simpson is really big in law enforcement, EMS, dispatch. He's on the dispatch board. He's on the EMS board. And he works well with the law enforcement because that's his background. Dick works well with the hospital district and he has saved the county a lot of money with getting a contract with the hospital for $125,000 top dollar for all of our indigent health. When I was on the hospital board first, the first 2 years we spent between $400,000 and $500,000 a year.
Wow.
Now we pay $125,000 a year, top. That's David Orcutt in the hospital, and working with Dick Rohn and Christy Massey. They've worked the contract out with them people, and it's really helped the hospital district. Because when the hospital district runs out of money, then there'll have to be a tax put back on for the hospital district, just like the library is. So that's a good thing. Myself, I've worked with drainage, roads, make sure that everything's drained right. I like to work on the density of lots. If somebody comes in with a plot plan, and I don't want them 50 by 100 foot lots like we got. I want a big enough lot that people can build a house on them and do them right. So that's some of the stuff that Steve and myself work on. Steve, fire department, he worked well with the fire department because that's his expertise.
That's his background.
So each one of us working together
it's a good unit.
It's a good unit. We work well together. The judge, he oversees all of us, and it's just a great court. We do well.
And speaking of that court, y'all are talking about right now possibly moving your meetings back away from the courthouse over into the Justice Center again. Now, talk a little bit about that. I know it was the acoustic problem.
The
that a lot of
acoustic
people are talking
problem.
about.
We've got this courtroom rented out right now to not rented. We're going to let a play that's going to be the 1776 play that's going to be put on at the courthouse starting in June. I think starting June the 22nd through July the 6th or 7th.
Yeah, through the holiday.
Through the 4th of July. And they said they can help us with some of this acoustic. If they get that down there to where you can hear people talk, then I don't know if we'll move back or not. But right now, everybody griping about it. You go down there to the meeting and nobody can hear. It's not good. But like I said a while ago, the historical people, they told us that can't have carpet on the floor and you can't have those benches with the padding on them, and so there's going to be some things changed down there.
I've never had a problem hearing in there. I hear echo, but I can hear.
I can hear if somebody gets up and talks in the mic.
Yeah, if they talk in the mic.
But if they're stand up back there at their seat and talk, I don't understand what they're saying.
I'll tell you, it cracks me up sometimes when I see people talking. When they get near a mic, it's like, I want to avoid this as much as possible.
If they'll talk into that mic, if they talk into the mic,
people
I
will
hear
them.
I hear.
People will hear them, most definitely. Your meetings are 9 a.m. or 7 p.m., and it's the second and the fourth Tuesdays
Second and fourth
of
the
every
second,
month.
The second is at night, and the
fourth is
fourth
in the
is
morning.
in the morning.
At 9 o'clock. So the
9
fourth Tuesday of the month is at 9 a.m., and then the 7 p.m. meeting is the second Tuesday of every month.
That's right.
And y'all welcome everybody.
Everybody that
to
wants to come to a commissioners court meeting, more than welcome.
and
If you've got something you want to talk about, well, so come to the meeting, fill out a deal,
your
and
name
get
down.
up and talk about it.
absolutely. And I love going to those meetings because you stay informed with what's going on, and it kind of cuts through the
sometimes they're
verbiage
real,
that you hear.
sometimes they're real boring, and sometimes they're real exciting.
There you go.
But we've got a lot of stuff going on now, and we're tickled to death with what's happening in the county at this time.
Absolutely. Let's give out those numbers again. Leonard, if you want to contact Mr. Heathington about anything, or if you want to contact anybody with the county commissioners, that number is 817-579-3300, 3300. If you want to contact Mr. Heathington, he's graciously given out his cell phone number, and that's 817-279-2459. I'll tell you what,
Leave me a message, and I'll get back with you if I don't answer.
I certainly appreciate you coming in today and giving us all the information, and good luck with all of your endeavors. I know you've done a great job. This has been another great interview here on Granbury TV.